Welcome back to another great episode of the Geek Centurions. Guess what, guys? If you're watching this, you're getting a double episode this week because we just released our update on the Mandalorian episodes, and we'll also talk about the Video Game Awards, which is something that all three of us are very excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, I'm here with good old Joey. I'm here with Daniel. We're usually the gamer guys. We like to talk about games. We talked about the PS5. We talked about the Xbox, all that good stuff that was leading up, and those are actually some of our good episodes. Now it's a good time to talk about the VGAs, the Video Game Awards. Jeff Keighley is bringing it back.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, it's fine. It happens. We're here to don't be mad. Don't be upset. So we're going to talk about it. It's been an interesting year for gaming. There's been a rise of it, and we also have some falls in that we never got to see any of the great events that we had planned up. Also, because of current events, as Joe usually says, a lot more people are playing games and a lot more people are getting recognition. And so for this episode, we're going to be talking about some of the nominations. Now, we're not going to get to all of them because there's some of them that really we have no,
no real general knowledge of.
yeah. And I mean, we'll mostly probably go by word of mouth for some of these.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that we didn't keep up, we didn't hear about them. Yeah, kind of follow that person, but I didn't even know they were up for nomination.
Yeah. So it's kind of a nice sort of trend because last year we did do a sort of video about last year's Game Awards, just sort of reacting to a lot of the things that were happening.
And it was an okay thing, but I think this is a better option now.
Yeah, we just talk about sort of our predictions of what will win what, and then maybe do another reaction to it and to see if we got stuff right.
That's gonna be the after. So after the whole thing, we can come back, record, we talk about our reaction to all of it. Maybe some of the stuff that gets announced because we don't know what can get announced. Apparently, Persona 5 Strikers from Joey told me earlier was supposed to be show up on the Game Awards. Is that true, Daniel?
Most people thought it was, but then it turns out it was actually today they announced it.
Yeah,
But they did announce they got the singer who did all the songs for Persona 5, to do a performance live on the VGA that night.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I think I mean if we're talking about potential reveals, I'm going with and we were lacking this last year, so we all wanted. Can we get another Smash reveal?
In terms of any reveals things, I got nothing.
I mean, yeah, maybe more next gen reveals, but
yeah,
I can't really think of anything at the moment. Maybe we'll see something more from Balan Wonderland or Wonder World. I don't know. I keep thinking Alice in Wonderland, but anyway,
another trailer for Setsuna.
Maybe or maybe just just generally new next-gen games. In terms of the Smash thing, I'm gonna just assume no. We had Steve, who was announced back in, was it September or November?
I want
to say back in September.
Yeah, and just looking at the trend of just when they announced new characters, at least at the moment, Min Min was announced in May, right? I think she was.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So they're taking their time, I think, with this stuff. So I don't think we're gonna get anything unless it's a super early teaser. And
I mean, I feel like if it's gonna be for the Big Game Awards, it has to be a big announcement.
Yeah.
Gino for Smash.
I don't know.
That would be cool, but I need my Waluigi first.
I mean, yeah.
Before Demon Slayer.
This is a list. There's a list. We gotta go down before we get to Waluigi versus Gino, then Paper Mario, then him.
No, and on top of the list is Doom Slayer.
Potentially.
Yeah. It's all kinds of. I don't know. When it comes to Smash stuff, it's sort of. I guess anything goes at this point, especially with Minecraft Steve.
No Goku though. No Goku.
No Goku.
Yeah, no Goku. He even said it himself. Don't expect anything like Iron Man or SpongeBob.
Nope.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
whatever.
There was people that wanted SpongeBob.
Have you seen the memes? He's very popular. He's a very popular character.
I'm not doubting that.
I mean, he knows Karate, so he would have experience. But
all right, we're getting way off topic now. Okay, so yeah, we that's some stuff that we want to see. Mostly is just like next gen stuff. I say Smash was like the first Smash reveal character was at Smash at VGA's Joker from Persona 5, so I felt like it'd be nice. But I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not gonna hold it to them. I'm with you guys to do a new gen reveal because the PS5, I'm gonna say 4, 5, PS5 is out, and so is the Series X. Um, if you're able to get one, because those sons of a bitches are still making it hard for everybody.
I mean, is it though? Yeah, it is.
Listen, yeah, so listen, you lucky ass motherfucker that got it the first day. We over here still struggling to find one. Anyways, um, let's get started with some of the nominations. Again, we're not gonna go through all of them. There's some of them that we just have no real say to, but there are some that we're like, okay, we can at least talk about these guys. And the first one is best multiplayer game, and basically, as I say, it's the game. It's the games that people have been playing a lot with their friends and families. And the first nomination is Animal Crossing: New Horizon, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant. So I think we should go in a circle and explain why we chose the certain nomination for.
Gesundheit. Oh,
Okay, I think
all right.
nomination as to why this one would probably win, and we can discuss this all we want. So Daniel, start us off. What do you think would win that one?
I think it's mostly very easy to see. I think it would be Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Mm-hmm. Is there a reason? And is there a reason for it? Why are you saying that?
Well, uh, despite being like a big Animal Crossing fan myself, it gives you like way more creativity and an option to customize your island and everything else. But I think
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest reasons was it came out at the right time when before all of this stuff happened. It came out and people, actually get to do something, like pass the time playing something, being creative, make up their own islands, make it up like city tunes, flags, clothes, and all that kind of stuff. It came out at the right time for people who we are still stuck inside and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you can even like visit other players, share your creativity with the world and everything, not just through Twitter but through the game itself with the Dream feature.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even online multiplayer which can go up to 8 players at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, plus I think it was one of the highest selling games of the year as well. I think this game was the reason why the Switch was sold out throughout the year.
Fair enough. Joey, what do you think? What is your opinion on the best multiplayer game of this year?
I don't know. It's a bit interesting for me to. I don't know. It's a bit hard for me to decide. Part of me does want to maybe say Among Us, just because it kind of came out of nowhere and sort of blew up. But at the same time, that game was not released this year. It's kind of like what 2 years old. Like it was just sort of like this, like relatively like small game that came out like a year or two ago, and then streamers caught wind of it and then and just boosted its popularity all the way up. Um, so I mean, I guess when it comes to sort of like I guess the criteria in my brain when it comes to a game of the year nominee and stuff, uh, that game should generally have come out like this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Probably not Among Us, even though I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be a lot of people wanting that to win. I'm kind of leaning towards Valorant, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just because now, no, I haven't played Valorant, but I think it's just because like a lot of people who are like really into like the league sort of stuff, kind of just see Valorant as potentially like the next big Riot game, right? Especially because I think it's like this is sort of like the first game Riot has pushed out that's not league related at the moment. But yeah, I could see them like maybe throwing a bone to Valorant, you know?
Maybe at least almost a win.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know, it's possible.
I mean, if I'm talking for myself, I would kind of have to give it to Fall Guys, most because it was kind of like Animal Crossing. It came out at the right time, especially since like there was a moment where Animal Crossing was kind of like dying down in like popularity. Well, not popularity, but like
Well, yeah, I get what you mean. Like can move on if it's just other games.
yeah, and Fall Guys came in and like immediately took that spot and had everyone like playing and enjoying it. And it looked like a lot of fun. Now, sadly, there was only a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Probably that's the only reason why I can kind of see it maybe not winning because it's not accessible to everybody.
Well, it's on PC, I think, as well.
Yeah, but not everyone has a PC though.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying like I can see it like maybe not reaching the certain numbers it needs, but I do see it coming in with a fun, you know, way of handling such things where we're stuck inside. And now we have it, and it blew up, and there's like what 100 people playing this nowadays. More than 100. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. Potentially. I think I think half the reason why it blew up is because it's sort of it does a spin on battle royale that's very game show like, like Wipeout or
yeah, like it was very different. It's like again like Wipeout or any other kind of platformer kind of game, and it's easy. Anyone can get in. There's no like excessive things you got to do, like aim perfectly to shoot this one guy, or you need to be like smart enough where you place your blocks in Tetris 99. But yeah, it just did something differently, and I would say this game gives everyone almost like an even chance to win at times.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, the one thing that sort of I think halted some momentum is obviously just the amount of like hacking that started to come out with the game, where people there's just a bunch of hackers just running around, which is like kind of weird, I guess, in my opinion. Because like if you're willing to hack just to win like this sort of like very beginner friendly, like sort of platformer style battle royale, then it's like, then you what are you doing with your life? I don't know.
I mean, I see the way they handled it, and it was kind of funny how they did. So I I forget what fighting game did it, but basically what they did, like all the people that were like caught cheating, hacking or whatever, they pretty much just sent them to like a separate server, which is all full of cheaters and hackers. And because I think at the time when this was happening, lots of people were complaining. They kept loading up for the game to start, but what they didn't realize, they were adding themselves as hackers.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, that's a good note. And I think we okay. So we have Animal Crossing, Valorant, and Fall Guys.
Right.
So let's all keep a note on that. So when we find out, we find out. So then honestly, onto the next category was best sports and racing. We have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, NBA 2K21, FIFA 21, F1 2020, F1 racing, I think.
Yeah, F1 racing.
And Dirt 5. So Daniel starts off. What do you think it's going to go to?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. It's a fun skateboarding game. I haven't played a Tony Hawk game in a long while, especially after like those last few, guess you could call games like Tony Hawk Ride. Yeah. So yeah, this is a good back to form. I like this game a lot, and hopefully,
and it's a remaster, isn't it?
It's a remake completely.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like what's cool about it too is like not only you could use like the younger version of Tony Hawk and his friends and everyone, but you could also use like the current modern day ones as well. But yeah, they put a lot of work into it. I like it a lot. Hopefully this opens up for more potential pro skater games. But yeah, like this is the funnest I had with Tony Hawk.
All right, and Julie, what do you think is good to go for the best racing sports game?
I was going to say Madden, but apparently Madden failed to. Well, I guess that's why it's like sports and racing, because you got to put racing in there. I don't know. Just going off of hearsay, because I don't play that many sports games or racing games anymore. I would have to agree with Daniel and possibly Tony Hawk was 1 and 2, just because I hear like they really like put in the effort to like really remake the game and make sure that a lot of people sort of like remember, like it feels like you're playing the old game essentially, like, but like looks way better, probably controls a lot better and stuff. And after hearing the whole, you can choose between young Tony Hawk or old Tony Hawk. I mean, there's probably lots of interesting sort of options you have in the game to just play how you want to play.
Yeah, like
I mean, oh, go
oh,
ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
yeah, like I forgot to mention one more thing. Like even though this game has like a new soundtrack, even when as far as to go back and get the licenses for the songs from the original game itself, so they brought back like Anthrax, Rage Against the Machine, and so on.
Nice. For me, I'm probably gonna be the one on that now, so I won't be surprised if I lose this one. I think I heard Dirt 5 was pretty good. Again, I'm with Joey. I don't play many sports or racing games anymore. Back in the day, I was into FIFA a lot, but nowadays I probably have to give it a Dirt 5 because I heard like that's a really good racing game, and that's one of the games that like really show off like next gen graphics, and that's why I think it could be potential for a game, and it's a lot of fun. Dirt, Dirt games have like not failed us yet, in my personal opinion. So I can probably make it through and get us possibly that win. I can see it. I'm not gonna be mad if I lose to Tony Hawk because like let's face it, that's probably the big contender and probably the obvious one that could win.
Yeah, mainly just because I feel like whenever other sports games, your 2Ks, your EA sports games, I don't know, it definitely feels like it's more like graphical improvements and maybe some like different game play mechanics that are added or whatever. Like I don't feel like they often do enough changes to warrant being winners of their category. That's why I feel like something like Tony Hawk or in this case possibly Dirt 5 uh, have better chances of winning than say your FIFAs or your Maddens and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good talk, good talk. Now we gotta go to the next one. Best simulation slash strategy game. We have Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3. I'm sorry, there's another 3 in here. I'm gonna be a little mad. Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, XCOM Chimera Squad. Daniel, what do you think we win that one?
I'd say, I'll be honest, and I'll say I haven't played any of these games, but I've seen some of my favorite streamers play this one, and it just amazes me like the amount of work they actually put into this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Mm-hmm. So it's popular enough to get that attention.
It is, and I don't know if you've seen the game itself, but basically you have like not only just the different airports across the world, but you can actually like fly through like famous landmarks and everything as well. So the
Mm-hmm.
attention to details they put into everything there, like it just it impresses me a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Fair enough. Joe, what do you think?
Um, just judging the list, I might also agree with Daniel here. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator does look pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They really go. I think having seen like various footage and stuff of it, they really it does like they really go all out and trying to be as like realistic as possible. I will say though, it's slightly like behind Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is probably Gears Tactics.
And that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I think for me at least, and because it looks a bit similar to like an XCOM game, which funny enough is also in this nomination apparently. Um, but yeah, from what I've seen of Gears Tactics, it does look like an interesting fun game. I feel like the Microsoft Flight Simulator probably has a bit more oomph to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, Gears Tactics is from my understanding, a very fun game. It follows a lot what you expect from XCOM games, but with a little Gears twist, and it's got itself a story mode that is really good. It follows one of the characters' parents, and we see what they're going through. And I forget the name of the war, but essentially, it's like it's that kind of thing, and it's a good strategy game. That's why I'm kind of going for it. And I mean, yeah, well, so far, so good. We got best sims and strategy done. Best family game for the best games appropriate for family play and all that good stuff. Animal Crossing New Horizon. We got Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Fall Guys is also back. We got Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, Paper Mario, and the Origami King. So, Dan, who do you think is going to win that one?
I'm gonna go with Animal Crossing New Horizons again.
Fair enough. I think we already heard your response to it. So, Joe, what do you think?
Nintendo will win.
Fair enough.
No, but to be more specific, I'm probably just gonna throw it onto. I don't know. It's a bit difficult for me to think about it. I I, I also it's a tie between Animal Crossing and the Mario Kart Live for me personally. It's like either or like can go for me like just because again what Daniel has said about Animal Crossing, it came out at the right time. And, a lot of people can't sort of just were just playing this game a lot in free time and stuff like that. But also, I mean, just like from what I've seen of Mario Kart Live, is that like it's sort of it's cute. It's like a nice little peripheral thing you can play around with, and you can make your own tracks. Like the only downside being that if you want like to have like a bunch of people racing their own things, they all have to buy separate, uh, you know, uh, little kart racers, and those things cost a lot apparently. So
Yeah, I think they go for 100.
yeah,
Jesus.
it's pricey. I mean, but if you want to like sort of make a little Mario Kart around your house and have it drive around like kids and stuff, then yeah, I think. I mean, if you have the money, you can probably invest in it. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
So you're gonna go in the in between route.
yeah, I'm in between those two.
Okay.
So I mean,
I'm on your side because like I feel the same thing with Animal Crossing and Crash Bandicoot. We already talked about Animal Crossing. Crash Bandicoot is kind of like when Daniel brought up about Tony Hawk. It's like a return to form. It's been a long time since we had a Crash Bandicoot game, and it turned out pretty good. It's a lot of fun and got a lot of interesting stuff going around with like time, different suits and different masks and all that kind of stuff. But if I were to give it to one right now, I'd probably no disrespect to Crash Bandicoot, but I'm with Daniel on this one. I'd give it to Animal Crossing. So okay, we got two Animal Crossings and well, maybe a third, but depending
maybe
on
a third, but
yeah.
it's still like I need to get my brain around it.
All right. So in terms of fighting game, and I'm just gonna say this right now, we all love fighting games. It's been kind of a weak year.
So it's going to be Mortal Kombat 11 for me.
I didn't even say the nominations, but sure. We have Grand. No, it's good. It's good. We have Grand Blue Fantasy versus Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. We have One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, and Under Night in Birth EX Late Clear. Yeah, that's always a mouthful to say that last one.
I just keep. I think a lot of. I feel like do people? I think the fans refer to it as Uniclear sometimes. Is that correct, Daniel?
I never actually played this one, but yeah, but usually people just call it short like uni, like short for
Yeah, but
Under Night.
I gotta say the whole thing because it's the nomination.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Justin to be like,
Everyone will get, yeah.
you're like underneath.
That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, so Daniel, you're gonna give it to Mortal Kombat 11. Explain to us why, and why you're wrong.
I mean, like they got a lot of support. I mean, and all the work they put into, especially all these unexpected characters I was expecting. Like, yeah, I would have maybe saw like the Joker, and Spawn, but I was not expecting anything like Rambo or RoboCop. And dear God, like they actually brought back the same actor that plays Shang Tsung in that movie to be in the game. And just recently, they actually came out with a costume set where they actually you can have the likeness of Johnny Cage, Sonya, and Raiden as well to be in the game as well, and not just to work with their voices as well. But yeah, like this is the most fun I ever had with a Mortal Kombat game. In my opinion, it was the best Mortal Kombat game. Probably going to be for a long time until like they outdo themselves for MK12 or something.
Fair enough. Joey, what do you think about best fighting game? I'm pretty sure I already know this one.
Yeah. I mean, my argument here is going to be that most of the nominees are just updates to existing games. Street Fighter Championship Edition only added, I think, Gil and Seth.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much it's like all the characters up to Gil and Seth.
Yeah, and they're going to have a sort of another season pass.
Final season 5.
Yeah, season 5 with Dan and Akira and a bunch of other characters.
It was Dan, Odo, I forgot the rest already.
Rose in there.
Yeah, Rose was.
Was in there. And then I forgot the girl's name, but I think it was Akira.
Yeah,
Who's
Yeah,
coming
we
from
mentioned it here already.
yeah, it's
And
her and then there's like one last mystery character that we
Yeah.
don't know about.
Let's
So
go,
we
man.
It'd be weird to have him be the last mystery character. I assume, like my brain just thinks he's gonna be like it's gonna be like a random guest character, but I could be wrong. But anyways, yeah, and then Under Night and Birth, that's an update. So for me, again with my sort of criteria of like
Has to be from this year.
yeah, for actually this year, and clearly it's not One Punch Man because that's more of an arena fighter kind of game. I'm gonna have to go with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
And you've been playing that game.
Yeah, like the thing about Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I have played it. Um, it's sort of like it's based off of the mobile game Grand Blue Fantasy that's only in Japan. Although I have heard you can like play it on browser with English on, so that's a thing. Um, I mean, it has a lot of like interesting characters. It's a very sort of like I guess like I can compare it to Street Fighter. It's very ground based footsies.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot of like air combo things. It's very sort of like beginner friendly, which I assume is because they want to draw in their original mobile game crowd, and obviously having a very complex fighter in the vein of like a Guilty Gear or something would not probably be.
Yeah, like I get what you mean. Like they kind of following like a similar route with what Smash Brothers did for Ryu, Ken, or Terry. Like you can just do like a simple command to do like special attacks, or you can actually put the directional input, and it gives you like a more powerful version of that attack.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You just have like sometimes you'll just have to press a special button and then direction you'll get special moves, or you can just do your quarter circle for all that stuff. And it does have a sort of a I guess they call it an RPG mode. It's basically it is sort of a interesting story mode. So it's not like like completely out of like content. The only issues with the game is that at least on PC because I play it on PC. Um, is online, and I think this is just a problem with a lot of like Japanese fighting games. It's there's not a lot of people playing, so you're always going to be getting very sort of iffy connections.
I mean,
So yeah,
I mean, I have a big issue with Japanese games. Like we keep telling them that we want like like something like rollback netcode basically, because we want to have like a good connection. Like we don't want to have any like issues like with the current delay based netcode, but hopefully that gets better because I know Guilty Gear Strive they're working on it to give it a rollback code.
That's the reason it was delayed because it was supposed to come out this year.
yeah,
Like it's not confirmed if it was because of rollback, but yeah, like basically it's the reason they said was because of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like they're working on netcode. I'm sure they do a good job. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're working on it, to make it work and everything.
I mean, let's be honest. If Guilty Gear came out this year, automatic win for that game.
yeah. I would have picked Guilty Gear if it came out. Haven't seen how the game looks and stuff. It's very. I think it's definitely like I think the most visually like best looking fighting game I've seen. Uh, and if it came out this year, I'd be like, it's Guilty Gear. I don't care.
I'll be serious now. If Jeff, I mean, why am I forgetting the head of Xbox right now? Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer better hurry up and call out for a new killer instinct.
I mean,
I need that fix, man.
Like, they put down bring back KI. We need because they do need to bring back KI.
Yeah.
yeah.
Joe, you gave a great example. For me, part of me wants to give it to Mortal Kombat, mostly because it's probably the only game that's right now has a lot of support. But at the same time, the gameplay has been kind of like iffy for me in some areas, so I can't, I don't want to fully give it to it. And I've never played Under Night, so I can't really say. One Punch Man is obviously the man out. Street Fighter Five. I'm in a conundrum. I haven't played Grand Blue, so I can't really give it to it. So I'm probably going to end up settling with just Street Fighter Five. It's still a pretty good game, and it's gotten a lot better, and it's a lot more support in it, and it's gotten a lot more fun. It's what we wanted from the launch that we finally got, and it's still a pretty good game. You can't go wrong with Street Fighter. I don't think it's gonna win, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did put a lot of effort, like especially from the rough beginning when it's heavily, catered to like hardcore fighters in our competitive scene.
yeah.
But yeah,
Which like I don't fault them for that because like that's your target audience at the same time, man. Because like they're gonna be the ones that are continuously playing it while the casuals are gonna play it every once in a while.
Mhm.
I mean, I get it. So, but I mean, we'll see. Let's just hope just hope that Guilty Gear wins next year.
It'll definitely be up for contention.
Oh hell yeah, it would. Unless some other crazy fighting game comes out that year.
I mean, not King of Fighters 15. I don't think that's not coming out next year. They just barely like had a trailer about character art. I don't think that's coming out next year at all.
I remember seeing the hype, and then I was like, oh, it's just character art. No. All right, moving on to the next category, and I think this one's pretty obvious. We got best role playing game. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Daniel, what do you think? I know this is a tough one for you.
this was a tough one. Like I had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy VII. Like I love Persona 5 Royale, and at first I was a little worried about Yakuza switching from a beat 'em up to an RPG, but it is a very fun RPG. But I mean, yeah, like if I had to pick, I probably would go with Persona 5 Royal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't blame you. It still holds up as a Persona 5
I
game.
mean, yeah, it was funny too because it was my game of the year when it first came out. I believe I think 2017, and I think it might be my game of the year again for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it wasn't nominated, but in my heart, it's my personal favorite.
In my heart.
In my heart. That's where all matters. All right, Joe, what do you think?
First of all, I will say, why was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition not put on this list?
The same reason why Three Houses wasn't on Game of the Year.
Well, I mean, it wasn't Game of the Year, but it won Best Strategy Game last year, and I'll take it. But anyways, I think the only game I played on this list is Genshin Impact, and it's like for being a free like RPG, like sort of like an open world RPG game, it's solid. I probably wouldn't put it up for Game of the Year though. I don't think it would win this category just because every single other game is just like has so much content, and with Genshin Impact, you're gonna be sort of like having to wait for content to come out. I think they just barely finished. They just barely added like a big story content thing. So,
but I think it's one of those games that just it came out of nowhere and caught everyone by surprise.
Yeah, I think it is very similar to maybe like Animal Crossing, perhaps, because it's sort of like you're gonna be spending a lot of time just sort of roaming the open world doing random stuff, and that'll take up some time and stuff. Although the gacha, from what I've seen, and not great, not great. Rates are bad. No bueno.
I mean, gacha game has good rates.
Dravani lost.
Well, not initially. You get fucking 5-star.
I keep forgetting the game exists.
It does exist, and it's all right. It's whatever. I would throw out the Fire Emblem mobile game. I've always gotten some pretty decent luck in that game.
Fire Emblem was my first and probably last gacha game.
Listen, all right.
This is not fate.
I mean, like, I don't feel like pulling up, so I want to level up my characters, but I needed like a shit ton of like items to do that, and that's money that I'm not willing to spend.
Okay, all right. But looking at the list and just seeing all the stack, but also knowing probably how the internet and the judges will vote, I'm gonna say it's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Like that game was freaking announced. People were hyped about it back in 2016.
People cried.
Yeah, it took. Was it 2015? No, it was 2015. It was announced, right?
Yeah.
It took 5 years for it to come out, and the people were just like wanting it so bad, and I'm gonna assume it's gonna win.
And I'm gonna add on to you. You think it just because it was basically a remake, it was gonna be it's gonna be very similar and all that stuff. remember, a remake does not mean it's 100% accurate because they included a lot of new story content and stuff, and they're doing something new with the game in a way that is kind of exciting, but also kind of worrisome, in my personal opinion.
Because you have Nomura on the team. And
God damn it, Nomura! Why are you always in everything I want? Damn it! Kingdom Hearts. Never mind. Anyways, I think it still has a thing that it will work for it, and hopefully we're able to get something cool. Yes, Nomura is a crazy son of a bitch, but he knows how to make you excited for a game.
And who knows? I think there's still a lot of people from the original Final Fantasy VII working on this as well. So probably that magic will still be there.
Yes, it will. And yeah, so we got 2 Final Fantasy VIIs for the best RPG, and Daniel, you still on Persona 5 Royal, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's move on to best action adventure game. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That feels so weird. Wait, did this come out?
It came out last year, didn't it?
Like it's weird. I'm pretty sure it came out like in November, and Jeff Keighley made a rule that any games get released in December. That's for next year. But
okay. You know what?
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
Wait, did Star Wars come out in December last year?
Double check for me.
I will
And
look it up.
the last one is Last of Us Part 2. So, yeah, to go over it again, because we talked over it a bit. Last of Us Part 2, Jedi Fallen Order, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That game also came out last year.
No,
I think it came out earlier this year, didn't it?
No, it came out earlier this year.
Okay.
It was just hit on announcing it.
Okay, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Daniel started us off. I'm pretty sure I know where you're going.
Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales was an amazing game, but I also played Ghost of Tsushima, and that is also an amazing game. Like lots of hard work was made into both of these games, but I'm probably gonna go with Sucker Punch on this one and go with Ghost of Tsushima.
I do not disagree with you. That game was insane. Like I'm not saying insane like all crazy shit happened, but I'm like, wow, the work that went into that was so good.
Yeah, like it even made Japanese developers in Japan go like, that game is so Japanese. Like how come we didn't put this much work into our stuff?
Yeah. I don't blame you on that. Joey, any update on the release date for Jedi Fallen Order?
It came out in November 15th last year, which I think
falls in that category.
Yeah, it would definitely. Yeah, I think it definitely falls in that category of like. I mean,
it's weird because Death Stranding came out on November last year, and that was still being nominated for Game of the Year last year.
What game?
Death Stranding.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a similar situation, I think, if I recall, Smash Brothers Ultimate. It was released in December.
I mean, it literally came out the day of the Game Awards.
Yeah, it came out the day of the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And it wasn't up for Best Fighting Game until the next year. Yeah, so I think it lines up well, but yeah. For me, for the Best Action Adventure Game, first of all, where is Demon Souls?
That's an RPG, but that came out just recently, so give it till next year.
Fair enough. Fine. But I will say, out of all the games here, I am personally, I would probably say Jedi Fallen Order.
Because it's the one you played.
Because it's the one I played, and also just because it's a pretty, I think it's sort of a game that a lot of people were just sort of cautious about because it's EA with their Star Wars license, and they haven't been exactly good with it. But I think Jedi Fallen Order was sort of the first oh my god, this is really good.
This is an actual game.
Yeah, this isn't. There's no microtransactions. It's single player. It's oh my god. It's a Metroidvania style game. Oh my god. So I think I would lean towards that. I mean, realistically, it's probably gonna go to Miles Morales or Ghost of Tsushima. But for me, I would say Jedi Fallen Order because I think that game's still pretty solid.
I mean, I love Ori. It is one of the best games I've seen in my in a long time. The art direction for that game is insane. That I also kind of like Jedi Fallen Order. Even but at the same time, I feel like I'm gonna go with it because it's a game that I have played too. Because we're Xbox owners and we don't have a PlayStation yet. We're trying to get both the Xbox and the PS5. Anyways, I probably would go with Jedi Fallen Order, even though I feel like there's a lot of things that are kind of lacking in the area. Sometimes be the story, but there were some moments that I made me go like, "Oh man, this is so cool!" Like the moment where Cal went up against Darth Vader, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm running, bitch. I'm out. Peace." But I feel like I'm gonna go with that one. But it would not surprise me if Ghost of Tsushima would win it. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys are looking at me. Anyways,
Sorry. Something.
yeah, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima could end up winning it. But just to hope against hope, I'm probably gonna go with Jedi Fallen Order. If I really want to go against hope, or in the Will of the Wisps.
You never know.
Yeah, right now. All right, let's move on to best action. Different between action and adventure, just more like just combat wise. We got Doom Eternal, Hades, Half Life Alex, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. Daniel, who do you think is going to take it?
Neo 2 was a game I missed out on, and I love the first one a lot. But even if I played Neo 2, I mean, it's obviously going to go to Doom Eternal.
Yes. I think we're all in agreement in that one.
Yeah, I would also say Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal, my God.
I think that would, yeah.
There's just something so,
I mean,
good.
took the last game, it was already cranked up to 10. And later on, they just modified an amplifier and fucking pull that shit up to 20.
There's some. I don't want to sound like I'm a goddamn crazy man, but just the level of brutality you can dish out and the combat of how the game works, it just feels so good. Like just being stuck in a small area and just trying to maneuver yourself around all these different demons, trying to shoot them up while you're trying to figure out the best way. Like there are times there where I've got to okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I just gotta try to survive long enough to do the certain thing. Okay, this person's out. Okay, BFG time. Poof. All right, they're gone. Oh fuck! I shouldn't have used the BFG. There's a bigger enemy. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it. And that's how it goes for me most of the time when it comes to Doom Eternal at night. And by the way, I'm playing it on normal, and I'm still struggling. If I go any higher, I'm about to cry.
Oh, come on. Those are rookie numbers. We got to push those numbers up, man.
No. Anyways, I think that's my stance for Doom Eternal. I think we all agree that it's going to be Doom Eternal. But still, I think each one of us should give an explanation. Daniel, and then Joey. Or unless I end up summing up the whole thing.
Oh, are we doing the next category now?
No. I'm talking about why Doom Eternal would win. But unless I said the whole thing, just let me know.
I mean, you pretty much just said everything. It's awesome. The soundtrack's amazing. The level the sheer amount of brutality you have to go off facing against these demons. And
the gameplay is so damn tight.
Spoiler alert! Just skip maybe 10 seconds of this from right now. You shoot a fucking hole through Mars.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'm not. That's not even. It's been long enough. There's no longer time for spoilers. You shoot a goddamn hole through Mars.
Goddamn right you do.
You are the goddamn canon. Anyway, so yeah, that's. I think we're all in agreement.
Doom Eternal. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
If it doesn't win, I'll be very shocked. All right, the next one is innovation and accessibility. Basically, this means recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. I feel like I have to explain that because that's just a weird category.
Yeah, I think it's. I guess I'm gonna assume it's just sort of there's various options that improve.
For example, color blind mode. So maybe you're not able to view the specific colors, so you can turn that mode on, so you can still be able to play the game even with that. Even with your color blindness, or maybe it's hard to read, so you could probably bump up the subtitle, text to be larger. These are just some prime examples, but something like that.
Mm-hmm. I just lost the list. Do you have the list on there, Dan? Because I just lost it.
Yes. Okay. For innovation and accessibility, Assassin's Creed Valhalla by Ubisoft Montreal. Grounded by Obsidian Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Hyperdot by Tribe Games, The Last of Us Part 2 by Naughty Dog, and Watch Dogs Legion by Ubisoft Toronto.
All right. So, what do you guys think?
Um, I'm not familiar with what the other games did, so I'll just give it a grounded because apparently they made a feature where if you have arachnophobia, you can adjust it so where you can actually play and not get scared of any like arachnids in there.
That's surprisingly interesting.
That is indeed.
Yeah,
Um,
you like increase the level.
I might have to go with that because I don't even know about. I mean, aside from like just technology wise, like best looking one, probably Last of Us 2 for me.
From what I've have seen like the accessibility options of Last of Us 2, and they are interesting. Um, there's like modes where you can just sort of like just have it like highlight enemies and they'll just be in red and you'll be in blue or whatever. You can even have it to be like where you just only highlight collectibles and various other things you have and they're like gold. So like the screen will just be sort of black or grayed out while everything else that's important for you per se would be like in various colors. Um, and there's a lot of other things that I have seen because I've looked. I think I remember there's like some of the things that like some reviewers were talking about when Last of Us Part Two came out. So I don't know. I think just because that's like the game I know the most about their accessibility options, I probably would go with Last of Us Part Two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the grounded thing does sound like super interesting, especially because it's like a game primarily about you having to fight off a bunch of insects. So yeah,
I mean, I think let's say we got two guys for Last of Us 2 and one for Grounded. I think that's pretty nice. I wish I knew more for every one of them, but
Again, like I didn't even realize The Last of Us 2 had something in there as well.
yeah. Okay, best VR slash AR, VR, virtual reality, AR, as in augmented reality. We have Dreams, Half Life Alex, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadron, and The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. Daniel, who are you going to give it to?
Let's see. I'll say this: I can I can play Dreams, Iron Man, Star Wars, and The Walking Dead all on my PS4 through VR. I don't have a VR set for my PC, so there's no way in hell I would ever play Half Life Alex. But I would still give it a Half Life Alex, even though I've never played it.
I mean, that's I don't fault you with that. It's what does it have that makes it better?
I mean, Valve finally comes back, make a game after so many years after solely focusing this being like a storefront for PC. It is amazing and it's just incredible. I mean, I see some crazy stuff happen in the game too. I mean, during when the pandemic happened, a teacher he live streamed his class while playing Half Life Alex. Like there's a specific part of the game where like you have a marker and you can write stuff on a window or something. And he
Oh
was pretty
wow,
much teaching his class through that.
that's crazy.
And yeah, like Half Life Alex, it's great to see Valve back. It is insane. It makes me want to drop like $800 just to get a Valve VR index and everything. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, I would give it to Half Life.
All right, Jay, what do you think?
um, I don't know. I haven't really heard much about all these VR games, but I think this might be another one where I'm kind of leaning towards two. One would probably be Half Life Alex, just because again, like Daniel said, it's a brand new Half Life game from Valve.
Half-Life 3.
It's not Half Life 3, but like we're getting, we might be close. Who knows? And I probably might just say Star Wars Squadrons, just because from what I've seen of the VR mode of that, it does look super interesting. Uh, so like, yeah, and just from like, because like just certain designs of like the cockpits and stuff, and like I imagine VR being sort of like if it would feel like you are inside a Star Wars starfighter. So it'd be. I think that seems kind of neat. So I'm kind of leaning towards those two. Um, although I think if I would have to like, I think I would have to be with Daniel and say Half Life Alex might take it.
I can totally see Half-Life Alex taking it, but I'm gonna go with Star Wars Squadron because the way the VR works for that game, it makes you feel a lot more immersed in the game in ways that not trying to dog on Alex, but just like you are feeling like you're one with the game, and it's something that I feel like when you want to do VR, I think that's what you're aiming for. And kind of like we said about Jedi Fallen Order, we didn't think it was going to be a good game, but it turns out to be a really good game.
Yeah.
Especially because it's from EA. And I think that's a thing that we also give it a note for. It's a really, really good game. Base game, I think it's still good. The VR adds a whole different level. But yeah. So that was our choices for best VR and AR. Let's go on to best community supports. In other words, these are games that are like, that have have a community that's very transparent and, they do a lot of stuff with it. And it's still pretty much part of going on with a lot of the gamers. And it basically has a huge social media following. And the first game up for that is Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. So, Daniel, who do you think is going to take that win?
Uh, it would be a tie between No Man's Sky and Fall Guys, but I would probably give it to Fall Guys.
Yeah, I mean, they've been cranking up with the seasons, man.
I mean, I see them interact with the community. I mean, I even see them on Twitter saying that, "Hey guys, do you know any streamers playing Fall Guys right now? We'll share their Twitch links and everything online, and they even have them,
Really.
participate and vote on things like, hey guys, we're adding this new thing. What you want to name it? Just know that whatever you name it is actually the thing, and you have no one but to blame yourselves. And of course, you name it something ridiculous and goofy."
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That's good. What about you, Joe? Who do you think is going to win it?
Fortnite, just because Fortnite wins everything.
They had a pretty cool event.
I mean, yeah, they do have like neat events and stuff, especially I think the last one was the Marvel comic tie-in or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna say Fortnite just because I feel like Fortnite has been winning a lot of these sort of like community or best ongoing game stuff at the Game Awards as of late. So I'm gonna say it's Fortnite.
I'm going to have to go with Apex Legends. I feel like Apex has been getting a lot better in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
It was always good, and it's now I think it's getting the attention it kind of deserves. When it first came out, it got a lot of attention, but then it kind of died down. Now it's going real back up strong, and I feel like that's mostly because of the community and the developers working together to make sure the game is still strong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pick. And now we go to the next one, which is best mobile game, which is Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. Daniel, who do you think is going to win that one?
I will give it to Among Us.
I'm with you on that one.
I once again my criteria of being sort of like I feel like a game should come out the year when it's a nominee. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Genshin Impact here.
Okay, Daniel, explain to us why Among Us, and then Joe, you explain to why Genshin Impact.
So, I'm not really big on mobile games a lot, so even with some of the IPs I'm familiar with, like Pokemon or Call of Duty, uh, Among Us is on PC. I played it, so there you go, Among Us.
It's not entirely just mobile.
But it's free on mobile though, so you don't have to pay the $5.
I don't want to deal with the ads.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
All right, Joey, why Genshin Impact?
Genshin Impact, I would say mainly because because I have played it on my phone. I don't play it anymore just because it's just a more better experience on playing on PC. But yeah, I will say for a mobile game to do like what Genshin Impact is doing is kind of insane. I guess I never thought like when mobile gaming was starting to become a big thing where I was like, there's no way they're gonna try to make a weird. There's no way they're gonna like ever make a game that's like kind of like an open world game work on a mobile device. That doesn't make any sense to me. And here's Genshin Impact being very sort of Breath of the Wild esque, and you can just play it on your phone, and it's for free. And granted, it's a gacha game, so you're gonna be probably dumping money to get those characters you want or whatever. But yeah, I think if you were to like look at it as a mobile game, yeah, I think it blows out a lot of other mobile games out of the water. You know, that's just for me though.
All right, that's so that makes. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think I mean, I know your criteria for Game of the Year has to be like has to come out this year. I feel like Among Us is still one of those games that, like, you know what, it came out the right time, got a lot of attention it deserves, and now we have to, acknowledge the fact that it did so well, and it is still probably one of the best mobile games I've played in a while. I don't play much mobile games. I didn't play like really two, and Among Us is one of them. So that's like 50% of the games I play on mobile. So let's move on to the best indie games. We have Carry On, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Hades, Spelunky 2, Spiritfarer, and yeah, that's it. Daniel, who do you think is gonna take it?
Spelunky too.
Really? Why so?
I had a lot of fun with Spelunky. It was, it's amazing like how much replayability you got out of the game. So hearing that a sequel, I think it was announced before, but when I first heard of it, I was like, oh shit, it came out with a sequel. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things improved on it, and it is a great indie game. Probably one of the few I would give like a 10 out of 10 for as well.
Mm-hmm. Joey, who do you think is gonna win it?
I don't know. I haven't played any of these games, but personally, just from what I've seen, I think Hades might take it just
Mm-hmm.
because it's very sort of. I think the art style is very very good to look at. I think it's like a dungeon crawler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from what I've seen, it just looks like it's sort of like a very sort of game that also was sort of announced out of nowhere, and I
Mm-hmm.
think uh, probably I think deserves sort of like the recognition for what it's getting as an indie game. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with Hades as well because that game blew up, and I know it says like, oh, that's the reason why he's choosing it. No, if the game blows up, that means it's got a lot of popularity, and most of these times it is voter based. And the reason it would blow up is because it's a very fun game, and it catches the attention of everyone. That's my reason. So if Hades is able to catch that, I think I can totally see it winning. Now adding on to everything you said, it's probably that's the reason why. Great art direction, great gameplay. And it's a very that's the reason you need for a great game, and it's the one that catches your not only gamers' eye but also normal people's eyes. Then that's what you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a Hades. Now we go on to best ongoing game. Means that basically this game is still going on and people are still playing it. And these are mostly like what usually games that are made for long-term service. So the games that we have are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. Daniel, who do you think is gonna take it?
No Man's Sky.
My man is staying strong with the No Man's Sky. It came out a couple years ago and it's still going strong.
You know, uh, like it first came out, didn't do good. Yeah, everything was missing and stuff. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm not seeing this game coming back or anything like that. And then over the years, they were silent, but they were actually putting work into it and a lot more work, and even more work. And they were like, huh, it looks playable and looks kind of fun. We all wanted to give it a try. People
Mm-hmm.
got in to try it, and it is the amazing game that we were all hoping for. And it's cool that the city give us a lot of support. They even included VR now, I think, as of
Mm-hmm.
last year. But yeah, like they showed a lot of support. They showed that it wasn't okay, here's the game. Thank you for your money. We're gone. No, they actually went back, fixed their mistakes, and actually put in the stuff that we wanted to see in the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm with you on that. I get
Yeah,
that.
and just look up the video for Internet Historian on No Man's Sky to show you like how far they went from like releasing like a game where it didn't promise anything all the way to like a really fun game that we all love to play now.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what do you think?
I will say what I said last time about best community support. It's going to be Fortnite because it's super popular and it's been winning these best online games for like the past 2 years. So I'm going to assume they're going to go for the three-peat.
I also believe it's going to be a three-peat. All right, let's move on to the next one. Games for impact. So to basically describe this category is for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. So basically, there's like a very important meaning that's going on for the game, whether it be, um, social change or any sort of thing. That's basically the kind of game that belongs in this category. So we have If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV edition, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, Through the Darkest of Times. So what do you guys think? Dale?
I
I'll
haven't
be
played
honest.
any of these, but the one that caught my attention and that is still on my list to play, it would be Spiritfarer.
All right.
It seemed
Joy, what
interesting.
about you?
It seemed nice. You meet up like all these different creatures and everything, but later on, like their spirits, they eventually have to leave. It seems like really emotional and all that kind of stuff. So I would,
Mm-hmm.
I would go with Spiritfarer.
All right, Joy, what about you?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I haven't really heard much about any of these games. I'm I don't know. I think Tell Me Why was. I think I remember seeing the trailer for that, and it's like kind of interesting. It's like a murder mystery. Um, I think that might take it, but I don't know. I just going off of my gut instinct, and just from what I've seen, at least from like the images of these games, it's probably gonna be Tell Me Why.
I'm gonna go. I'm with you there. It's one of the few games that's caught my eye. I haven't had time to go check it out. It looks like a very interesting game about two siblings and like you know, I'm guessing they're dealing with death and all that kind of stuff, and that's a very profound thing to have in this sort of times. I can totally see that winning. I don't know. Again, most of these games I haven't really caught my eye. Most of these kind of games, and they kind of go under a lot of people's radar, and it's kind of sad that it happens. That's why we have this category to promote it. And yeah, so let's move on to the next category: best performance. So basically, best voiceover, motion capture, all the kind of stuff. We have Ashley Johnson as Ellie from The Last of Us 2, Laura Goddamn Bailey as Abby from Last of Us Part 2. That is not an insult. Laura Bailey is awesome. Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, Logan Cunningham as Hades from the game Hades, and Najee Jeters as Miles Morales from Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Daniel, who do you think is going to take it?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Daisuke Tsuji.
Mm-hmm. And why?
Let's see. So when he announced that you can make this like, so much like a samurai film as possible, I decided to go with that route. Like, so I turned on a lot of the Japanese dubbing and everything and play throughout the game, and he gives off a really good performance as Jin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Very memorable. I liked it a lot, and if I remember correctly, I think he did Sanji from One Piece or some other character from One Piece.
Nice.
But yeah, so he did a phenomenal job, and it would be really cool to see him win an award for Jin.
Mm-hmm. Joey, who do you think will win it?
I'm gonna be honest. Having only seen, I don't know. I think personally, and this is probably just a little bit of bias from her previous works that I know of. I think Laura Bailey. From what I've seen of clips of The Last of Us 2, I think she does do a very solid performance as Abby. So yeah, I feel like I think she might be able to take it. I don't think she's ever won one of these before at the Game Awards, so it'd be kind of interesting considering she's also just considering how long of a voice acting career she's had in both video games and various other mediums. So yeah, I think she could take it.
I have to go with Ashley Johnson as Ellie. She did a really great performance in that game, from what I was able to see, and really captured a lot of the emotion and the hardship that character to go through. I think it's a. I mean, we'll probably talk about more about Last of Us when we get to the game of the year. But I think it's one of those games that's been done really well. All right, let's move on. I think we're getting close to the end, are we?
No, we
Uh,
still got
just about, yeah.
All right, we got best audio design. So basically, recognize the best in-game audio and sound design. That does not include music. So we got Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and The Last of Us Part 2. Daniel, what do you think?
You know what's really satisfying about Doom Eternal is like every time you kill those demons, slay them, you hear like all their bone crunching, blood gushing and all that kind of stuff. So I would give it to Doom.
You sick man, I believe you. All right. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. Joey, who do you think could take it?
I'm gonna be honest. I never really truly pay attention to like all the other like subtle sound effects of video games, but I would have to agree with Daniel. Like Doom Eternal, there are like because I think they make that very pronounced. Like you definitely hear, uh, you definitely get a sense of like the power of your guns through the sound and various other things. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Doom Eternal on this one.
I'm gonna be the odd man wild. I'm gonna give it to Ghost of Tsushima. I think that game just oozes sound and like really makes you feel immersed around you, whether it be just the silent stuff or just the music itself. But we're not talking about music, but it's the just oftentimes the silence of just walking around in the grass just really gets you.
Hmm. Yeah, like Ghost of Tsushima, they did a really great job with the sound in there.
Yeah. All right. Now this one is actually for music. It's best score and music. We have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us 2. And I'm not gonna deny I'm kind of split on two, but I'm pretty sure I think we all have an agreement on which one could win it. Daniel, who do you think you can win it?
I would go with Final Fantasy VII, but the problem
Oh,
is
okay, you caught me off by surprise, motherfucker.
problem is
Yeah,
Doom Eternal was in there, and Mick Gordon composed the soundtrack. So I'm
yeah.
going with Doom Eternal.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You tricked me! You tricked me! You son of a bitch! Like,
Yeah, in the first half, didn't I?
Jerry, who do you think is gonna take it?
I would probably have to agree once again. Doom Eternal, just the soundtrack. Mick Gordon brings his A game once again.
He never lets you down.
Yep. Yeah, just the soundtrack is pretty solid, especially once you get into the heat of the fight. It's just going all like guns ablazing on the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would also like mention that Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably up there as well.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that it's either between Final Fantasy VII and Doom Eternal. Because I was going to say that too. That's why I'm saying I'll split. Because Seven and Doom Eternal have probably the best soundtracks that I heard this year, and I'm probably have to give it to Doom Eternal too. I think Mick Gordon's soundtrack has always it just stands out. When you hear Mick Gordon play Doom Eternal, you're like, oh, this is Doom.
Yeah,
And
like
at the time,
he went
yo,
all the
go
way
ahead.
in this one too. I think he hired some I think metal. I don't know if he confirmed they were like heavy metal singers, but basically they got him, come in like kind of like in the choir, and they had them all chanting like some weird not a made up language that's supposed to sound very demonic and everything for the soundtrack.
Yeah. Heck, there are times where I would just like pull up the video, the scene of like basically Doom Eternal's like at Doom's Gate, with everyone's like in the game everyone's like we need help, and just Doom Slayer just getting ready, just clocking his gun, and the music's playing and getting you hype, and then he goes and I'm like, oh man, I'm in. It gets you so hyped, and it's so good. All right, ready? We're going on to best art direction. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and Last of Us Part 2. What do you think of Take It, Daniel?
Oof, I'm kind of split on this one. Like Ghost of Tsushima is really great, but I also like Final Fantasy VII a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would give it a Final Fantasy.
All right. I mean, I don't blame you. But it's the art style holds up after so many years.
Yeah, they did a great job, updating all the characters' looks and everything as well. I mean, it looks amazing.
Joey, what do you think of Take It?
Having seen the various sort of having seen all the games, at least in terms of art, from all their art and stuff. Yeah, I think I might have to agree with Daniel once again. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, like, I am kind of shocked how they kind of just kept like some of the designs of like some of the older like monsters, which I mean, if you were to like go back to I think the original Final Fantasy VII and be like that looks just silly. So for them to like bring it up and like sort of modernize it a little bit, it's sort of like man, that's kind of like really weird that they kind of still went all out with the some of the crazy monster types that show up in the game. at least in like the Midgar section. So I don't know. It's interesting how well they've been able to modernize that stuff, as well as like update the character designs for various characters, and even like the side characters like Jesse and Biggs and Wedge and stuff like that. So super interesting.
I'm already out of bias. I have to give it to Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I think that art design there is so striking and memorable, and when you see like that art, like that's Ori and the Will of Ori, and it's just for me, it's just I always had a thing for Ori. I feel like it never won anything, and I would love if it won this. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with myself.
Like the game looks amazing. The animations and everything in there looks all phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next one, and this is best narrative. And again, there's gonna be one nominee we'll probably talk about towards the end. Um, we have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. What do you guys think, Daniel? What do you think?
This is very tough. I mean, shit. Like, if I played 13 Sentinels, I would give it to them. I haven't, so I don't know the story behind the game. But I guess I'll give it to Ghost of Tsushima.
All right, that makes sense. Jay, what do you think?
I have not played any of these games whatsoever. I do know the stories to at least some of these games, and I have seen cutscenes for those games. And I'm gonna be honest, um, I I think I might go. I'm definitely gonna go with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm with you on that. It's just mostly because I mean, for me, Final Fantasy VII Remake not only brings us back to like what we know about Final Fantasy, but it slowly introduces some new stuff that makes us more intrigued about what's to come, and like just this weird like thing of time and reality and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It really caught my eye. I don't blame someone for going with Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was a great story.
No, like
yeah,
it was. Like the reason I wasn't going with Final Fantasy VII because we kind of already know the story because it's a
Fair
remake.
enough. Fair enough. I'm not denying
They
you
just
that.
figured it out, and that's
Hmm.
it. Which is not a bad thing, but I probably would still go with Ghost of Tsushima. But if I played 13 Sentinels, I would give it to that. That was the game on my list.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Best game direction. Basically, award to for an outstanding creative vision and innovative game direction and design. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Last of Us Part 2. If you guys start noticing there's a lot of repeating ones because we're getting closer to Game of the Year.
yeah. And usually, Game of the Year nominees take up a lot of these sort of narrative, game direction, art style kind of things because there's generally, I feel like generally, I think the Game Awards sort of relates all of those to as factors to being Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, um,
Daniel, start us off. What do you think will win Best Game Direction?
Best game direction, huh? I would, yeah, I will go with Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, the amount of creative direction, artwork, and everything else went into the game is insane. The way they present, I forgot what you call this feature, but basically when it tells you where to go for a certain mission, but basically the waypoint indicator or whatever, they everything from that to everything else, they did a great job on that, and they matched the atmosphere, they catch the aesthetics of everything of a samurai game. But yeah, I would give it to Ghost of Tsushima.
All right, Jay, what do you think?
um, I don't know. This is tough. I am leaning towards two at the moment, but if I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna choose one. I think I'm gonna agree with Daniel here. I think Ghost of Tsushima would probably win a best game direction because I just understanding the level of detail this game has and sort of the vision of sort of trying to create this sort of like interesting story set in Japan and stuff like that. And
And again, like a lot of Japanese developers were surprised, like how much effort it was put in to make us authentically Japanese as it can be.
yeah, exactly. I think that will push. I think that could definitely get. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima that recognition of being sort of like the people behind this game really, really wanted to like show that they care about this history and stuff. So I think, I think Ghost of Tsushima will probably win that.
Honestly, everything you guys just said is everything I have to repeat, but you guys said everything. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that you did like when this was first announced. I thought it was a Japanese company, but no, it's what company was it again? It was,
Punch, the guys behind the Sly Cooper series and Infamous.
yeah. So basically, a Western developer. They came in and made a game that not only honors Japanese culture, a lot of folklore, and a lot of the things that make it special. And that is all about the direction of the game, and the direction did it so well that, as Daniel said, caught the eye of a lot of Japanese developers and made them feel a little ashamed. Not ashamed, but
So like now we got to do better.
now we gotta come and do a better game. And yeah, I think that's basically what I feel like should amount to when it comes to direction of a game. All right, the next one is here we go. This is it, and it's probably gonna take up a good chunk. We are talking about the game of the year. Which game pretty much is proven to be the game of the year, best game of the year coming out. We have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Last of Us 2. Obviously, some of these have to be discussed. Let's discuss each one because that's basically what it's going to go through. Doom Eternal, Daniel, what do you think? Does that deserve Game of the Year?
It does deserve to be on Game of the Year. I mean, it's just a phenomenal, crazy, action-paced game. All these guns, all these demons, you go guns blazing and everything, along with Mick Gordon's, phenomenal soundtrack and everything. And yeah, Doom Eternal would be up there.
Joey, what do you think?
I think Doom Eternal definitely has a good shot at being Game of the Year. It built upon the original Doom 2016 and improved a lot of things on it, and it shows. Like a lot of people like this game, and I feel like it's just a really fun, shooter. Just roaming around killing demons.
I will say it's been a while since we've seen a shooter be offered Game of the Year. I love Doom Eternal when I first played it. I will say I do feel like it's a little bit lacking in some areas. I think it does deserve a nomination. Whether or not it wins, I can't really tell you. Mm-hmm. All right, and the next game was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Daniel, why do you think this game deserves Game of the Year?
I mean,
by the way, we are allowed to say why we might think it might not win.
Right. Okay.
I mean, this was the remake we've been asking for years. Mm-hmm. Like ever since back to I think they showed us like how Final Fantasy VII would look like on PS3. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we finally got this and it's amazing, and it's only just one part of the story so far. It's incredible, and I would see it. I would give it a fair shout out, for Game of the Year. I think it kind of deserves a spot as well.
All right, Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I think just the hype around it and it coming out, I think it has the momentum to win Game of the Year. I will say, I think, because the thing is, like, I think a lot of people probably do have some problems with 7 Remake when it comes to like the story that it's trying to tell, and sort of like it's not a 1-to-1 remake or whatever. But some people obviously get a little miffed about that, and sort of like this game is gonna be. It's not like it's only like essentially it's only remade like the first third of the original Final Fantasy VII, mm-hmm. or at least like the first like big part, the Midgar section. So I think for some people it's like I don't like. This is going to be like a 3-part thing maybe, or even longer. I kind of just want the full experience, or I'll just wait until all the parts are together somehow in like a bundle or whatever. So I don't know, maybe from that I can kind of see why some people would be like, it doesn't deserve to be Game of the Year because it's not the full Final Fantasy VII Remake people wanted. But I think it has a decent shot.
Yeah, no, everything you guys just said. I feel like not only is it a great game, it includes a lot of stuff that we come to love about that first section of Final Fantasy VII. It's trying to expand more and try to be more of a bigger story, which I'm always for. I will state right now that 7 is not my favorite Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy game. It's usually between 10 and some and another game. But it's at the same time I can't deny that it is a really good game. It has a lot of fun things going on. I feel like that gameplay wise, it does have a little bit of things falling back from it, but
Yeah,
also yeah,
yeah. Like I think
the
some parts of combat could use a little touch up. Like again, like maybe
yeah,
push enemies into the air. Could have
mhm,
like some kind of air combat going on.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm kind of like hesitant to give it that. Also, like you guys said about the story, I want the full game. I'm not half of the game. But it makes sense from what they're doing. It was a big game, but I can totally. I think it does deserve a nomination. Next game was Ghost of Tsushima. Daniel, do you think this game deserves it?
Yeah, I would say it does. Again, like art direction, the sound, the amount of work they did to put into it, and the amount of features that they also added to it as well. So you could play just like a normal game, have all the actors, like listen to the English dubbing or switch it to Japanese dubbing, and you could even make it go to the classic black and white filter. Make it just like any old samurai film as well. Uh, I could go on and on about this, but yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, like it honestly does deserve a spot up there.
All right, Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely, from what I hear about this game all the time, it has a lot of, it gets a lot of praise from its story, its gameplay, just the amount of details and various other things. I do think this game probably will win Game of the Year personally for me, just because of all this sort of. I think it's still on people's minds. And I think it's just it grabs a lot of people's attention. I mean, heck, I think they just recently added like a free multiplayer kind of mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Like,
did.
yeah, so I think that sort of I think stuff like that and like just sort of I think will propel this game to be game of the year. I'm pretty positive this will be game of the year.
everything you guys just said, 100% agree. It's a game that really everyone was hyped for, and it exceeded beyond expectation with a lot of the things that I brought up, as well as being just a game that you can admire everything it's done. It's the art direction, the music, the sounds. It hit every right note and did everything well. And being a game that honors a lot of the things that I inspired by, I think it's a lot of good things. I can't see it not winning. I'll say that. The next game is Hades. Daniel, what do you think Hades deserves the Game Award?
Uh, I can't say if I'm being honest. I never played Hades, so I can't really say
Mm-hmm.
much for it. I heard it's really good, so I'm sure it has a place up there for Game of the Year.
Jay, I feel like you're on the same boat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the art direction definitely carries it because
Mm-hmm.
it does have a really unique art style compared
Mm-hmm.
to all the other games that are on the listed game of the year. So yeah, I think it definitely deserves its nomination. It'd be super interesting for an indie game to win game of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. I also did not play this game, but seeing the reaction from it, I think, is enough to garner it the Game of the Year nomination. Not just because like okay, it's a one game everyone's talking about, but like I said earlier, it caught the attention of not only just gamers, but people who are just casuals. That's kind of a level that you have to admit, and also the fact that it is a well structured game with an art direction with a great art direction, as well as great gameplay and all that other stuff. It deserves a. If you can count all that, it deserves a nomination. All right, next game is Animal Crossing: New Horizon. Why do you guys? Why do you think that one deserves a nomination?
Aside from everything that I said before, Nintendo's still giving it some support, which is really nice. Uh, but I think that's about it. I pretty much just said everything beforehand why like it deserves some of the awards. Um, Again, will I think it win? Well, no, because you got The Last of Us, you got Ghost of Tsushima, you got Hades, you got Doom. Uh, I could I can see why some people will say Game of the Year. I mean, it's probably it is in my top 10, but Against all these other guys, I don't think it'll win.
Joy?
I think this game. I think it is an interesting nomination. I think just because of the just how big it blew up earlier this year, and I don't know. I think it does have a chance of winning Game of the Year, only because I think um, it might be like sort of a feel good vote because I think a lot of people sort of attribute Animal Crossing as sort of being a big game for a lot of people, you know, during this sort of during these current events and stuff. Uh, it was sort of like a lot of people sort of cited as sort of a game that was like helped them through a lot of these stuff that was going on earlier on this year, and probably still continue to do so as the year keeps going forward. Uh, so yeah, I feel like it could win at like that as sort of like a sort of testament of like this is just a simple, nice sort of game where you just make your own little island and you get to sort of escape from the craziness of the real world and sort of just sort of relax.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like it could win based off that sort of.
I'll be honest. I never thought of it that way.
But yeah, but obviously it has stiff competition from literally all the other games. So you know, I feel like that's probably how I could see it winning. But I don't. I guess it'd be nice, but I'm not. I'm not 100% sure it would.
I mean, I don't personally. I don't think it can win. A lot of the nominations are really strong and really, known for the crap that they're being nominated for. Not saying it doesn't deserve it. I think Animal Crossing has always deserved some sort of deserved the recognition that it needed, and this is what it needs. If it wins, that's crazy. If it doesn't, I'm not surprised. All right, the last game to talk about, and this is probably the most controversial one, is The Last of Us Part Two. Um, Daniel, why do you think it deserves it slash doesn't deserve it?
Well, I never really had like a deep attachment to The Last of Us. I mean, I was really not never interested in it at the first place. I think I only bought the remastered because I needed to play something on my PS4.
Mm,
I played it. I had fun with it. It was like an 8 out of 10. But then later on, The Last of Us Part Two came out, and all these controversial stuff happened. From the leaks into people fighting over whether the story was good or not. But uh, you know, I will say this: like they did put a lot of work into it. They did a lot of crazy stuff with it, like with the touchpad on a PS4 controller, you could play the guitar on there and everything. But I, it does have like a large passionate fan base out there, and I can see why they would want that to be Game of the Year and everything. So that's pretty much all I can say. I haven't played The Last of Us Part Two. I keep hearing different things, but as a lot of work has been put into it, so uh, I can see why they put it as Game of the Year.
Joy?
Yeah. I definitely do understand sort of the controversy that I guess the game has. Obviously the story is very sort of controversial. It's very sort of mixed, I guess, for a lot of people. Some people say it's like it's great. Other people say this is stupid. Um, but I will say like graphically and like technically, the game does sort of deserve those merits. Like they worked really hard to make this like a visually uh, impressive game. They've at least done a lot, at least to make the game sort of function well. I have heard that some people sort of like just kind of don't like sort of the core gunplay just because it feels like it hasn't changed at all since the last game. And considering this is sort of like a next gen game, that they probably should have improved some of that stuff, but I guess not. I don't know, maybe because this is definitely more of a story based game rather than like full on like devoted to gameplay mechanics. Um, but yeah, I think it definitely does deserve a slot as game of the year, just because again, I think a lot of people at Naughty Dog put a lot of hard work into it. Whether it will win, I'm not entirely sure. The internet outrage machine will continue to be pissed at this game, so I can totally
Yeah,
see
about that.
I can totally see because obviously like people voting for it do sort of have at least somewhat of an effect on who wins what. So I could definitely see sort of like a bunch of these internet people being like rallying behind any other game and make sure that Last of Us Part 2 does not win Game of the Year. So, you know.
Well, I mean, I think the judges also have a huge margin there.
Yeah, I think the judges definitely have the last say, but yeah.
Honestly, again, I think as someone who's not played the game, but I've seen the effect that it has on people. It's kind of, I mean, the game itself, I think, not counting the story, is a well-made game. Yes, there's a bit of flaws, but this, as I said earlier, there's plenty of flaws in all the other games. But essentially, I think the game itself is what kind of pushes the what could be. It's probably one of the best last generation looking games that PlayStation has had. It also, you know, can did a lot of stuff that we come to love about Last of Us, whether you were a player for it or weren't. Story wise, I feel like they could have done better, but if it works for what they had, it works for what they had. I mean, that's all I can say. But the game, I mean, I can totally see the game deserving the nomination. Whether it wins, I don't know. Will there be a reaction to it? Probably.
Guaranteed, it is going to be a reaction no matter what happens.
No matter what happens, but it's something that I feel like we're gonna have to see happen and take strides, and hopefully, come to enjoy it either way. I think I guess I'll say this right now: all the nominations deserve it. All these nominations deserve it.
Yeah.
I have not seen a nomination that doesn't deserve it. I've rarely seen one that doesn't, really, with the Video Game Awards. Now, I can't say who I would like to see because let's be honest, I got like three that I'm like, okay, I can see Final Fantasy VII winning, I can see Doom Eternal winning, I can see Ghost of Tsushima winning. And I think we're all on the same boat on at least there's at least more than one possible game that can win.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have to wait and see and talk about that when it comes. But thank you guys for taking our chance to listen to us. We will be back with a post reaction to the Game Awards that will be coming out soon. Thank you for checking us out. You can find us on our social medias through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Geek Centurions. And if you follow us on Instagram, and you will find our link tree to all of our podcast sites like Castbox, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the good stuff, Pandora, Spotify. And be sure to support us there in any way you can with the follows and star ratings. Also, we do have a YouTube where you can put a face to our voices and I'll see all our ugly mugs. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hit the bell icon. You know how YouTube works. It's gonna it helps us out a lot. Also, if you want to support us anyway, we do have a Patreon where you can donate a certain amount of money to us. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do, but we kind of need a little extra funds for it. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully, the Game Awards is going to be a fun one. We will be talking about it. We will be going back to these nominations. Also, might be talking about some of the reveals because there's always a reveal there.
Yep.
And hopefully, it'd be some good shit. And yeah, so it's been your boys.
Oh, it's been me, Daniel.
Jimmy Joe.
It's been your boy Eli. And we have the Geek Centurions. So hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy the Game Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, cool reveals coming up. I'm sure nothing bad will ever come out from this, the next day or that night.
Hopefully there's not too many Stadia commercials like last year.
Yep.
The what?
Fair enough. Peace.